to do this webinar tonight, this open Q&A. I mean, I think this is the first time Patrick and I have ever done this, and this is going to be an exciting time, and we've got people just pouring in right now. We've got a large turnout, so we won't go through all of the names tonight, but we will call out some of you that are here. But if you see over in your right-hand corner of your screen there should be a little icon of a hand. And so if you don't mind clicking that hand, and I will be able to see your hand. I see Richard has already clicked his little hand there. Got Tracy there, Matt, Cedric. We've got some other people coming in here. So Paulette, good to have you this evening. And there's some more coming in. Let's see. Watson, if you're there, go ahead and raise your hand. Steve, Tracy, Raj, Maria. Good to have everybody here tonight. Jeanette, good to have you here tonight. And, again, we've got some people. We're going to spend the whole evening just calling out names. But let's get started because this is all about you, not about us tonight. We are going to open up with the question and answer time. And bear with us again because this is our first time to do this. So we'll unmute you whenever we see your hand go up with a question there. All right, so let me introduce to you who we are and about the company. Again, my name is Eric Auger, the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems, and have been with ABS for going on 6 years now. Let me tell you about who we are here at American Business Systems. We've been in business, again, going on 20 years this next year, 2014. Being in business, helping folks just like yourself get into the business of medical billing, working from home, or if they want to work from a brick-and-mortar building, they certainly can do that. If you have not been able to go through our website, you can see our website up there at absystems.com. There you will find a lot of information, especially about the business package and potential income, news on the industry news of what's going on, find out all about these different services that you see here. If you want a deeper due diligence, click on this orange button there or here, which will get you into our virtual brochure. This is where you're going to find out a lot more information about the opportunity, how we help you get clients, training, support, technology, and then the final steps. And folks, this is not the only thing that you can get for your due diligence. We do live demos. You talk to maybe an ABS coach here, Adam, Alicia, Dirk, or myself, and even Patrick at times. You're all more than welcome to talk with us or even come by and visit us here at our office here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. ABS has been a part of the HBMA, which is the Healthcare Billing and Management Association in the United States, a large organization. You can see that they've got all sorts of things happening there, something coming up here in April, Spring Educational Conference. We've been a part with them for the last 5 years. And we have the highest rating with the Better Business Bureau, an A+. You can't get any better than that. And so, folks, go out there and check us out, and you'll be, again, happy that you have. Again, I mentioned earlier that you can come by and visit with us at our ABS headquarters. We're in a community just north of Fort Worth called Keller, Texas. So if you want to, if you're flying in, you'd fly into DFW Airport. Give us a call. We'll arrange arrangements for you to come out and visit with us, and we'd love to have you out there to ask any questions that you may have. Our upcoming next training workshop, which is Filling Up Fast, is April the 8th through the 12th, Monday through Friday. And so, folks, if you're looking to get into this business, you certainly want to ask about our upcoming training workshops that we do have. We hold those every 6 weeks. Let me introduce you to our founder and CEO of American Business Systems. He is an author, a worldwide speaker also. He has written several books, as you see here. One, How to Reprogram Yourself for Success, a great book just to kind of help you in business of quit thinking negative thoughts about what you can and cannot do in business. He's also co-authored some other books, Wake Up, Live the Life You Love, and Cash Crunch to Cash Flow. This is a book very specifically for you as a licensee to help you with your marketing. And it is written in a third-party manner. It has nothing in there about American Business Systems, but it has everything about you and your business and all the services that you can have as an ABS licensee. So, listen, without any further ado, let me bring Patrick on the line with us. And, Patrick, this is going to be exciting, so welcome aboard tonight. Let's get this thing kicked off.
Okay, and, hey, everybody can tell that it's live because as we were getting going, I had all kinds of problems getting this GoToWebinar thing going here. But Exciting night, yes. We've never done this before, like Eric said, and it is live, so you will be able to type your questions in directly there on the screen, and you'll also want to kind of give us some hint when you type in your question if you're gonna want to speak, over the phone or through your headset. Just be sure and put a little topic in there. Say, I want to ask about pricing, or I want to ask about this or that, and give us some hint so that we can kind of know when we introduce you what the topic is all about, kind of like they do on, radio programs. So,
sure.
Eric, you're my sidekick here on the.
I am
DJ,
tonight.
I guess.
We will do what we can. Absolutely. And folks, if when we unmute you and you're talking through your computer speakers and we get a little echoing, we want you to go ahead and ask your question quickly, and then I may end up muting you, and then just raise your hand if you want to speak again, and I'll unmute you just so that we make sure that we don't get a lot of feedback there. So,
Eric, I'm going to pause the screen here just a second because I see a question already from Raj there about what the phone number is. Maybe we should point out that there is a little audio section over there on the GoToWebinar control panel where they can see, what the phone number is. If you switch to phone, just click on telephone. It'll switch to telephone and show you the phone number there. Is that right, Eric? Is that how that works?
That is correct.
And then they can switch right back to mic and speakers if they want to. But if you are going to speak up, guys, because of the echo in a speaker system on a computer, it reverberates, and your voice goes through the speaker, it comes back out, goes back into the microphone, and, you get all kinds of feedback. It's better if you have a headset on. If not, just switch to telephone and actually type that phone number in. And anyway, that way you can just call in directly.
Well, Raj, he says, unfortunately, that will mute the mic, and I don't want to miss anything. So I hear what you want. So
why don't we find that? I can find the phone number there while the screen is paused,
absolutely.
Eric. Yeah.
I think you've got it on the first slide there. If you want to go back to that first slide, you may have that phone number.
I think you're right. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. It should be right here. Let me get that back up on the screen there, and that should be, so everybody, if you want to call in, just go ahead and jot down the number that you see there on the screen. Eric, you want to read that out loud in case it's kind of tiny?
Absolutely. It's 415-655-0059. And then once the little lady comes on there, she's going to ask you for an access code, and you'll see that access code there. 349-295-708. So we'll leave that up here just for a few more minutes, and if you want to switch over, dial in, we'll kind of give it a 2 or 3 minutes here before we start asking any questions. And so, okay, Raj says thank you. Well, folks, this is your night. This is your night to ask us any questions. We'll take them as the order as they kind of come in. We'll spend as much time with you as we can with you tonight. So if you got a question, you want to be on live air with Patrick and Eric tonight, start typing in some of your questions, kind of give us like a little preview, as Patrick had said. But Patrick, is there any particular questions you want to kind of start off with as some of these questions are coming in?
Yes, I see some right there on the board that we could address right now if we want to. There's one from Robert. He's asking what other costs are there outside of my licensing fee.
Correct.
All right, so folks, he's talking about the $24,990. That's our licensing fee to become an ABS licensee, and he's asking if there's costs outside of that. Sometimes people think that there's costs because other companies, in the past at least, have charged things like upgrades to the software, new user fees for additional users on their software system, and even clearinghouse fees. And we don't have anything like that.
Right.
Your only other cost, of course, is being able to access our cloud-based billing system, of course. For each doctor that you sign up, there will be a fee, but that's covered by the fees that you're charging the doctor, of course. So there's really no outside fees from ABS that you're having to pay, because our support is lifetime support, and that means literally as long as you're an ABS licensee, you have support without any extra cost. Since ours is a cloud-based, web-based billing system, there's never any upgrade fees, because every time you log into the system through a browser, you are using the latest version of it. So,
absolutely. Yeah, and a lot of people get confused about the ABS licensing fee and then just continual overhead fees. And folks, with any business, whether you're an ABS licensee or if you just strike out on this on your own, you will have overhead costs, monthly costs on whether it's the software that you're purchasing or whether it's whether it's that server-based system or a web-based system. You always have that, but we have it in such a fashion that our operating costs are low enough that you are able to make a very good profit on the business. So we teach that in the training classes. So don't get the confusion of ABS licensing fees versus just regular operating costs. Folks, we all have operating costs whether we're in a business or not.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
You're going to always have some kind of overhead, even if it's just your monthly phone bill. If you have a line in your house there.
Absolutely.
Do people have lines in their house anymore? Landlines?
A few of us still do. Most people don't. But
they're all going to their cell phones now.
Yep. Well, I'm going to unmute Matt. Matt's got a question about explaining the difference between our company and other companies. So let me see if I can unmute Matt here. And Matt, you're ready to talk to Patrick.
Matt, you there?
Matt, are you there? Okay. We'll get a few more seconds here. Matt, are you there? All right. I'm gonna answer his. I'll read his question here. Matt asked the question, Patrick. What is the difference between ABS and the company ClaimTech?
Oh, well, wow, that's the first time anybody's ever asked that on a webinar about specifically about another company that does something similar to what we do. And Matt, thank you for asking that question, because we have known about another company out there called ClaimTech. They've been around, I think, about as long as we have, actually. I mean, they've been in the business quite a while. They have their own software that the owner of the company, Kyle Farhad, he's actually written software that's what we think of as client server-based software. In other words, it comes on a CD and you install it on your hard disk on your computer. So it's not cloud-based, and I think that would be probably the major difference between us and them, is the fact that he's using a server-based software. Now, we have webinars that we've done on the differences and the advantages of cloud-based software, so you might want to ask your ABS rep for a recorded link to that webinar so you can kind of clarify that. But other than that, what else is the major differences, Eric?
Well,
no training, I guess.
Yeah, and here's, I don't mind taking on that kind of question here, because people do want to know about the other businesses that might be out there. And Matt, I'd say the first thing, we won't put down anybody.
No, they're a great company, and it's good software from what I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, but you asked me about the differences. The big difference, we're web-based, they're server-based. Our training's live. Theirs is done one-on-one over, I believe, a phone call. So there's some major differences there. We probably spend a good amount of time, Patrick, and again, we've never really seen much of the training from the other company, but I know from our experience, we really focus in, Matt, on helping you get those clients. I mean, that without you having a client, does us no good, does you no good. And so
yeah, it doesn't matter how good the software is.
Right.
A client.
So we do spend a lot of time and even back end support on helping you with clients. And I, Patrick, I guess one of the other big differences is that we actually do the demos for our licensees, for their doctors. You want to kind of explain that and what we do there on that?
Yeah, one of the things that you'll face when you get out there in the marketplace, Matt, is that you will be having to present, the advantages of what you have over other medical billing companies that are approaching the doctor. And if you don't know, the answers to the questions that the doctor asks, of course, you can kind of look uneducated, I guess is the word. With ABS, we've decided that since that is a crucial part of getting a doctor's interest, answering all of his questions, we've decided to do that for you. We basically let you go to our online system where you actually set up an appointment. literally with the doctor and with us and somebody from our staff here at ABS and our technology partners get online using something similar to what we're using here tonight, GoToMeeting it's called, and we connect with the doctor and show him live our iClaim cloud-based system. So we go through that step by step. We answer all the doctor's questions during that demonstration. And Eric, you've done some of those. You know that the doctor usually at the end is just asking, how do I get started, basically?
Right,
what do I do next? And,
right.
and for somebody that's never marketed or sold something, folks, it doesn't get any easier than this.
Correct. Yeah, and Patrick, again, I guess one more difference that we could look at, and again, it's just the continuity of how the billing portion of it, the practice management, is with the clearinghouse and the EMR and the eligibility portion. So that's four major components that nobody has to leave the system to go outside the system to actually do something. So everything's done internally, and that could be another difference that you might find with us in Claim Tech there.
Eric, I just thought also when we're talking about differences, now folks, again, we never say anything bad about any company, because anybody that's in this industry is probably somebody that's, if they've been around as long as we have and as long as Claim Tech has, they've got to be doing something right.
Right.
The main thing, difference-wise, is, of course, in the ongoing training. After you've been through our week-long training here, of course, that's just a start. I mean, literally, we have 50 to 60 hours of additional training that's online. We have what's called a licensee support site. We refer to that as the LSS, and that's a private website for you as a licensee, once you become a licensee of ABS, that you'll have access to with all of this additional training. There are forms on there and surveys and questionnaires and all the things you'll need to run your business, including, of course, additional marketing materials, ways to order that marketing material with your own name and logo printed on it. And there's an online forum. If you've never been into a forum, it's just basically a website where you can go in and connect with other people. So you have access to all of our other licensees nationwide and can go in there and ask questions and connect with other people. So it's a great resource for our licensees. I don't think Claim Tech has that. I don't keep up with everything that they're doing, but last time I looked at their website, they didn't have that type of ongoing support, and I think that's important. You'll need that.
Right. There you go. All right. We're going to try this again. We're going to take a call or a question from Tracy, and she's asking something about clearinghouse here. So, Tracy, I'm going to unmute you. If you're ready to go, Tracy, go ahead and ask your question about the clearinghouse fees.
I heard the first question, but my question was, we do have a clearinghouse fee for monthly once you do get that first doctor, correct?
Well, yes, Tracy. You might think of it as an access fee that the doctor pays, by the way, not you. So the doctor is paying you something each month that covers that access to our system fee, which includes unlimited claims. So there are no clearinghouse fees.
Tracy, did that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Very good.
Okay, thank you, Tracy.
Yep, and again, folks, remember, I'm muting you and unmuting you, and sometimes my trigger finger doesn't work as quickly as you trying to get to that question. So just bear with me, and I will make sure that we kind of come back to you and make sure that helped answer your question. So we've got a lot of other calls coming in, and so let's see. Raj, if you're ready, you're going to be up next, and you're asking some questions about some of the services, but maybe speaking very specifically on the number of doctors, any stats of number of doctors in a specific area. So, Raj, I'm going to let you go ahead and ask that question and maybe clarify some of your questions there. So, Raj, you're live.
Thanks, folks. Like I spelled out on the right panel there, I like your approach certainly to the way you sell services. You just don't go in willy-nilly saying to a doctor, would you like us to take over your medical billing? But you give a far more value in that. But my concern is, and my hesitation was that how likely are doctors to listen to what we have to provide to them, but also to sign up for it eventually because we've sold it so well to them.
Okay, I think I've got that question. Patrick, you pretty clear on that one?
You might kind of restate that. I want to make sure that I did get that correct. I think I know what he's saying, but
all right, and Raj, I'll unmute you here if you want to help correct me on anything. But I believe Patrick, what he's asking is, he says he likes our approach on how we approach the doctors with services, not really trying to sell them, but what he's asking really about how likely is these doctors going to even listen to us when they're probably already doing some things very similar. So let's kind of approach it from that
sure.
part.
Well, Raj, that is a good question. We get that a lot from people because if you've never been in this industry, of course, it's kind of hard to wrap your brain around the fact that the doctor, they're probably doing their own billing now using their own software, right, and their own staff, or they've already decided to outsource and have outsourced their billing to another billing company. So the question really is how come doctors sign up with you? Why would they outsource their billing to you when one of those two situations is probably already in place? Another way to ask that would be, from our standpoint, is how come we see our licensees actually signing up doctors every week, if that's true? Well, it's because doctors are not always tuned in to what's really going on in their own office. That is, they don't get the reporting from their staff or from their outside billing service in some cases that they need to know exactly where they're at in their cash flow. There's so many elements involved in getting that money from the insurance companies and from Medicare and their patients that the doctor doesn't have time to keep on top of that like they should, and sometimes they don't know how bad the situation is. Then at some point, maybe they do realize that their rejection rate is, 30 or 40%, and they're not collecting but maybe half of the money from their patients, and this is why they're struggling. Sometimes it takes them feeling a little pain for them to come to that conclusion. Well, that's what we teach you to do, is to go in and examine the doctor just like he examined you. You go in and ask them a series of questions. We call it the practice analysis. And you get the information out of them that points out where their pain is. And once you do, of course, then they're open to making a change. People don't change things unless they feel like there's a problem. And we help point out the problems.
That is correct, and that's right. And I think, Raj, what you'll find out when you do get to come to training is that's one of those areas that we're going to help you with, is that whole practice analysis, and that's where the discovery really comes in.
Hey, Eric, can I address one other thing? I noticed Raj had actually typed in part of that question before we unmuted him. And one of the things he is mentioning there is, do we happen to have any stats on the numbers of doctors in any given area? So I'd like to point out to people that there is a tool on our website. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to your screen and you've just been listening in, you might want to look at the screen right now. I'm actually on our website, absystems.com, and I thought I would just show you there live how you can go in and actually use this tool that we have built in right on our website there. Let me zoom in a little bit there. You see a little better. There's a link at the top called Income Potential. If you go down to Find Doctors in My Area, it will let you actually put in your zip code to find out the number of doctors in any given specialty in your area. So, Raj, if you want to type in your zip code, for example, we could put that in. Or if not, well, anybody who types in their zip code there in the question box, we can use that. You see any coming in there in the question box?
Not yet, but here we go. 72653.
72653. All right, so when you click See the Results, it will take you to a Google map. Now, if you look over on the left side, you will see all the different medical providers. I know that's kind of tiny on your screen there, but, it's family doctors, medical providers, chiropractors, ambulance services, internal medicine, etc. Lots of specialties. You can bill for all these people. So all you do is just click on one of those, and then it'll open up another window here and go right to your area. So this looks like somebody is maybe in Arkansas, and then if you look over on the left-hand side here, it takes just a second, there it comes. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the beginning list that you see there on the left so that you can see at the bottom down here a number. You see it down here? It's 57. Now that's just the general medical providers that we looked up just then. You can go back to that screen anytime you want to and click on any one of these others that are down here. So let's type in, let's do pediatricians, for example, and you'll see it comes up with another list, another map, and we'll scroll down to the bottom of that and see down here that there's 33. Now remember, this is only looking within about, what, Eric, maybe 30, 40 miles radius.
Yeah, right, and it's
that zip code.
Right, and that's what it's going to take. It's going to take in a radius, in places like this place here, particularly like there in the mountain home area. There may be a small grouping, but there is, folks, you just got to remember that you just need 1 to 2 to 3 doctors at a time. But we could expand this out to the neighboring cities that are next to you within a 30, 40-minute drive. So this is a great tool for you to use as you're doing some of your due diligence. And even after you become a licensee, it's a great tool there.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Real quickly, and basically, Patrick, you kind of answered Linda's question there. She goes, I just joined in a little late. She goes, I was hearing but nothing but Eric and Patrick's picture showing. Do I need to do something else? And I think we just showed it. Linda, you're doing just great. So just hang in there with us. Okay, let's get to Paulette. Paulette, you're going to be up next. She's asking some information about income and are there any limits to this? And let me get to Paulette here, and I'm going to unmute you, Paulette. So, okay, Paulette, you're live on the air.
Hi, Paulette.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Yes, I was just wondering if there any limit to income, and basically how is there any region that's kind of like has too many people, ABS agents, I don't know, or what do you call the people who
licensees?
Work?
Yeah.
Licensees.
Well, let me start with the last part of that. The answer is no, there are no limitations. You don't have a territory. It's not like a franchise. So we have licensees, Paulette, that are actually signing up doctors all over the country. That's why even if you go to that map that we just saw and you think, oh, there's only a total of maybe 800-900 doctors, that doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean it is when you only need, a handful to make a good living. But it doesn't matter because some of those doctors will know doctors in other areas and will refer you to those doctors. So, Eric, we actually have licensees, I would guess, that have clients in several states all over the country.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're really all over, and that's the great thing about this business, Patrick, is that there are no limitations to where you can get clients.
Yeah.
You can be in the smallest area and go to the next place, or just go as big as you need to.
Yeah, I've got a slideshow that I was just working on the other day that I use during the live training to show people, some of the people that have opened up offices and things like that. Let me just throw a couple of those up on the screen, Paulette, to give you a feel for this. This is Janet Melanowski. This is her right here. I don't know if my arrow is pointing to her face there on your screen, but she's right there in the middle. And she's in Ohio, a little small town in Ohio. She has 23 doctors, or practices, I should say. There could be, several doctors in each one of those practices. And as you can see, she's got a staff of 7 full-time employees, a very nice office. I visited there. That's how I took this picture when I went up to visit her. And so the answer is there is no limit. You can build this as big as you wish, or you may want to just keep it, small. Some people are, very happy when they've got a handful of doctors that are making them a almost an executive income, so why work harder than you have to is how some people look. Here's Lou McKendall. He's out in Arizona. He literally said he got this started so he could pay for his golf fees. And he now has 2 employees doing all the work for him and 5 doctors, and he gets to golf as much as he wants to. So, again, it's up to you. Build it as big as you wish, or keep it as small as you wish.
And what about the limit to income? That was the other question she had, Patrick.
Yeah, well, that's another question that you can basically answer if you want to on our website. There's another tool there. Let me put that back on the screen here. You can actually go up to that same link that we looked at a while ago. It'll be on here on the screen in just a second. There we go. Income potential. And you can go to the medical billing income calculator, put in the number of doctors that you'd like to sign up. Let's put in those 5 doctors that we saw Lou had there. Average number of patients that a doctor sees per day is around 20 or so for a general practitioner. Number of days they work is 5, let's say, and let's say you're charging only about 6%, on the average claim that averages, say, about $100. Anyway, plug in your own numbers there. We did this so that you can put your own numbers in there, and then I'll click the button here to show you. And I know that's really tiny. I'm going to zoom in here. Sorry, I should have done that on the previous screen, but so with 5 offices, as you can see, you could be making $156,000. Now that's gross income. Remember, if you're doing the work yourself, then that's your money, and especially if you're working out of your home, you don't have a lot of overhead there. But if you've opened an office, if you've hired people, of course, that's not going to be your net income. But even if you spend $56,000 on that, overhead, it still leaves a nice $100,000 for you. So really, there is no limit, guys. You can have as many doctors as you wish. I wish I had time to show you all those other slides there. We have one office up in New York that has over 200 doctors. So do the math on that. You'll see that they're doing not a 6-figure income, but close to a 7-figure income there.
Okay, Patrick, let's move on. Got a question here from Steve, and great question, kind of to follow up along with what you're talking about here. So more about, besides billing, some other services. Well, let me get Steve on the line with us here. Steve, you should be unmuted now. Go ahead, Steve.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Steve.
Just wanted to pose the question about the other services that American Business Systems has listed on the website, and learn a little bit more about what the doctors and practices like to utilize amongst those other services besides billing, and what type of profit center those pose for the franchisees.
Great question, Steve. Thank you. Let me throw up a slide here that is one that I use when I'm explaining those services to other people. If you haven't been to our website and know what Steve's talking about there are 6 other services that you can offer to doctors besides the medical billing. And the reason I have this slide up is because this is what's called the medical revenue cycle. It is the revenue cycle, meaning all of the money that comes into a doctor's office from different areas. We go into depth in this, of course, in our training, but basically just remember, as a company, we've decided that you need to have something more than medical billing. In today's market, folks, you must be offering something besides just medical billing if you get into medical billing, because there are other areas that the doctor needs help in. So this slide is showing that, and let me see if I can get to the slide where it actually shows the different services. Here we go. This is a slide that is basically a picture of the different services, the flyers that we've designed for those different services. And I know you can't read those, but remember, on our website, we go into detail on that. And Steve is asking what kind of money, I guess, can be made from these other services. Now, here's iClaim. We think of that as our medical billing revenue, of course. Tied in with iClaim, you have EMRX, which is our electronic medical records. Now, that is a huge profit maker for a lot of licensees, because if a doctor doesn't have an EMR system, you can offer that through our cloud-based billing system. It's tied in with it. exactly, created by the same technology and programmers, and so it works seamlessly within our system, and you can make money on that by basically leasing the EMR system to the doctors on a monthly basis. Steve, that service alone, the EMRX, can earn you, depending on how many doctors are in an office, $500 to $1,500 a month, and you're not doing anything for that revenue. That's just money that they're paying you to access the EMR system. Now, I don't have time, of course, on this call to go into every one of these folks, but let me encourage you to ask your ABS rep more about these. And if you haven't gone to our website and filled out the little form that gives you some more information, we have an entire website that you don't even know about called, our virtual brochure. I think Eric mentioned it there at the very beginning. That will give you in depth the type of money that each one of these services can earn for you as an ABS licensee. We have people who are offering, for example, just this choice pay, and that's basically what they offer to doctors primarily. They walk in and open the door with that one service, and some of them are making a full-time income with just that service alone. So each one of these folks has revenue. The iDocs Now, oh my goodness, I wish I could go into detail about that. That is an exciting service that every doctor needs. Every business in your area needs an online web-based document management system. You can make a lot of money just with that service alone. I've thought about just starting a separate business just for that service alone, because it is an opportunity in and of itself. So be sure and ask your ABS rep about that. Steve, I'm sorry, I just can't go into detail about each one of those, but every one of them has the potential to make you a full-time income in and of each one by themselves.
Absolutely. Folks, there's some other questions that are coming in, and some of them are, I just want to not let you know that we're not answering some of these questions. Some of these questions you might want to specifically ask in more detail to your ABS rep that you're working with, if it's about pricing or if it's about demos and stuff like that. Get with your ABS rep about those, and they'll set you up. They'll go into detail again about the pricing on a lot of the licensing fee and how you get that into ABS, and some of the other questions that are coming in about demos and stuff like that. So again, we want to make sure that we're trying to deal with some of the questions about some of the larger, bigger questions here. So again, let's if you've got very specific questions about that, please get with your ABS rep, and then we'll be more than happy to deal with you one-on-one about some of those questions.
Sure.
Patrick, let's go to this question here, because not only does this question get asked a lot, it certainly got asked here, but what if the doctor asks for references, and being a brand new licensee, I don't have any clients, well, who do I refer them to?
Yeah, I see that. I see a question there also from Maria. I don't know if that's who you're referring to, but she says, how are they going to trust me?
Yeah.
In other words, how am I going to get in to sign up a doctor? Because, you're brand new, right? You're a new company. You're new in the area. Folks, you're going to be amazed at how, well, this is one of the reasons that you need to associate with a company like ABS, because if you tried to start your own medical billing business and go out there, you do have a problem. You are just you, and you have no association with anything larger. We teach you in our training to position yourself as a member of the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies. We do thousands of claims a day for hundreds of doctors from coast to coast. Now, doesn't that make you sound a little bit larger than, hey, I'm Betty, and I work out of my spare bedroom in my pajamas, and I don't have any clients, by the way. So when the question comes up from a doctor, for example, about references, we have references. We can actually, you actually have them call me as the CEO of American Business Systems. I am the guy that they contact to talk about references, and I find out exactly what they need. Why is it they're asking about references, and who it is that they would like to talk to. Then I will research, meaning I go back to our licensees that are out there, and I find a reference for that particular doctor. Sometimes they talk to me, and they're satisfied with that because I assure them that we have all the backup for you that you would possibly need. We just basically position you as somebody opening a local office, just like a Century 21 agent would open a new real estate office in your city. That's all you are, is just an extension of our network. So that's one of the reasons why positioning yourself correctly with a company like ABS is just vital to your success.
Well, and let's not forget the part about our division of the research and development. Folks, you got to understand, we have doctors that we do billing for here locally. And so we have, here at American Business Systems, have developed a relationship with those doctors who in turn can be references. So if we need someone for you, we can certainly be able to, Patrick can coordinate that, even with some of the local doctors that we do some billing for here too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, that's been a vital key to helping our brand new licensees, because again, folks, we're working with these folks day in and day out, and we've got a great relationship built with those folks, and they are more than happy to take reference calls from brand new licensees for their doctors.
Well, and by the way, I'm putting a slide up right now that I had here in the deck. That's a picture of a DVD. Eric and I traveled and spoke with actual clients of some of our licensees. And we interviewed them and actually videotaped them and put them on a DVD. So here's one of the things you can hand to a doctor. There are, I think there's 6 doctors on here that are, again, clients of some of our other licensees. And even though we give the doctors' names, we don't mention anything about the other licensees. There's nothing on the CD or the DVD about us, ABS, American Business Systems. This is something you can have even printed with your own name on the back of it. So it's yours. So these are, for all practical purposes, your references to start out with. Here's 6 doctors willing to tell why they decided to outsource their billing. Folks, it doesn't get any better than this. We spent almost $30,000 producing this DVD.
Absolutely. So, folks, we've got you covered whenever it comes down to references. We have worked on that, Patrick, I think from day one since I've been here. So
Sure.
we can literally say I know a lot, even a lot longer than that, but I know for a good 6 years we have really put together a strong group of references for our licensees.
Yes.
Matt does not have his microphone, so Matt's asking another question. Basically, Patrick, can this be done while having a full-time job?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question, Matt, because we have 2 ladies. Well, let me back up. I do have 2 licensees that I fly in from. One's from Colorado, one's from Arizona, and I fly these licensees in and pay them to come down and actually do the training workshop for us. Now, it's not that Eric and I are not involved in that workshop. We are, but I have licensees who come in because we want you to hear from people who are actually out there doing the business on a daily basis. And, of course, these ladies have people working for them, so they run their business basically from their laptops in the evenings while they're here during that week. But the reason I brought that up is one of these ladies, Bonnie Preston is her name. She is a lady who joined us about, it's almost 5 years ago now, Eric. It's hard to believe in it. Right. And she came through training in 2008. And she started out, folks, she was working a full-time, she says 50 to 60 hours a week job as an IT professional. And she built this business, bought our license, and built this business in her spare time. Now, I don't know how much spare time you have, but we can show you how she teaches people how to do that during this training workshop. So, yes, the answer is absolutely people have built this. In fact, Eric, I would say, I don't know, half at least of the people who come through still have a full-time job, don't they?
Right. Oh, there are several people that I think out of our last class we had the majority of the people in there that were still working a full-time job. Yeah. Absolutely. And
I mean, we have a few retirees, we have a few college students even that have come through, and we have some people that are laid off and obviously don't have a job. So it's very simple if you know the secrets to doing this, in building this thing outside the regular 9 to 5, what you think of as the 9 to 5 hours.
Right. Well, there's some more questions that are coming in, and a few people that are typing those in they're unable to talk because they don't maybe have a microphone. But folks, if you do have the opportunity to talk, either you dialed in or you have a microphone, please type in your questions. I mean, again, folks, this is for you tonight to kind of guide the conversation. So, Patrick, here are a couple of them that have actually come in from here that folks that don't have a microphone. How saturated is the market? Aren't there a lot of billing companies already out there?
Yes, there are. I mean, folks, let's face it, medical billing as a business opportunity has been around. Well, my wife started doing medical billing for doctors back in 1987. So what is that? That's a long time ago. And it's over 20 years ago. So yes, the answer is yes, there are other companies out there that are doing medical billing, probably in your area. So what is it? I guess the real question people are asking is, why is it that a doctor would choose me over those other companies? Are there too many people in any given area? And I want to answer that in two different ways. First, generically. Generically, yes, you're going to run across other people who are approaching the doctors. Do those other people, though, have all of the advantages that you would have joining ABS? The answer is no, because most of them have taken a little course of some kind over the internet to learn how to do medical billing or maybe on coding, and they think that they need that kind of training, so they take it, and then they print up a few business cards and they go out and start approaching doctors. They don't have the association with a large network. They don't have the professional marketing tools, the websites, the flyers, the brochures, the postcards, all the things that we've developed over the last 20 years that make them look like somebody that a doctor wants to do business with. I mean, Eric, we've seen some of the flyers that some of the competitors out there have printed up, and they look like they were, you know, car wash flyers or something. They're printed on their dot matrix printer, you know. And so, folks, a lot of it is just positioning. Now, to answer the other side of the question, and that is about saturation, usually people are asking that as far as ABS licensees. We don't have any area in the country, folks, where we have oversaturated licensees. Let me tell you why. It goes back to how many doctors do you need to make an executive income? You just saw with 5 doctors that you can make a 6-figure income plus. So that's why in any given area, it doesn't matter. Now, Eric, what would you say here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? We probably have a dozen licensees at least. And we don't know but about 3 of them that are actually doing any kind of marketing, because the others have already gotten the number of doctors that they need or that they want to you know, spend the time doing the billing for. You get to a point where you do have all that you need and you don't need any more doctors, so you stop the marketing. So in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I think we looked it up one time on that map, Eric, and it was like, I don't know, almost 30,000 medical providers in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are a ton of yeah. And
so even if every one of our
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if every one of those a dozen licensees had 10 doctors, that would only be 120, and there's 30,000 here in this area, folks. If only half of those are prospective, you know, it's just too big. It's just too big, folks, in any given area.
And let me jump in there and just say this: not all medical billing companies offer all the services that we have for you as a licensee. A lot of billing companies just do billing, and they don't offer electronic medical records platform. They don't offer coding. They don't do any of those things. So, folks, this is what separates you from the rest of the pack, and that is your full revenue cycle management company that's offering all these other services like EMR. And that's really, that takes that saturation from looking saturated down to not saturated.
Yeah, like we showed a while ago, folks, there would be very few medical billers out there that offer even electronic medical records. Believe it or not, some medical billers don't even know how to associate with a company that has electronic medical records to offer that to the doctor if they don't use it already, much less all the other services that we've spent literally hundreds of thousands of dollars developing. So again, you should thoroughly research what we have as a company and why that licensing fee is a bargain.
Yeah, that's a good point, Patrick. All right, we've got another question here. We're going to try to go live here again. from Juan. Juan's asking about a question about do we help them with their pricing? So let me see if I can unmute Juan here. Juan, you got it.
Juan.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Thanks for being on here tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here from Puerto Rico, and I'm wondering if service and this program is available here, or it's just in U.S. It's a U.S.-based program.
No, Puerto Rico, actually, the doctors there file on the same forms that the doctors here in the United States do. And so, yes, the answer is yes, it is available there.
Oh, that's great. That's great news. And I have another question is if you help us design the price that we have to charge for each service to our clients.
Yes, Juan, let me address that by saying this. I mentioned earlier that we help you do what's called a practice analysis. Now, that is just a questionnaire, basically, that we teach you to go through and how to ask the questions and what answers you can expect to get, about maybe 30 questions. When you go through that with the office manager, you will know enough to come back and do what we call a proposal. Now, we have proposals that are already made up, templates in Word, that you basically would open up on your screen and adjust to fit that particular doctor's situation. But we don't leave that to you on your own. In fact, we encourage licensees, the first one or two at least, you will want to pass by us, get on the phone with our support people, explain to them the situation, give them the copy of the practice analysis so we know exactly what the figures are that the doctors have given you. And then we help you in that pricing, because you don't want to leave money on the table. You know, you want to be sure to charge what you could be charging, but then of course you don't want to overcharge because you might lose the account. So the answer is yes, that's a vital part of the support you get from ABS, is knowing exactly how to price that. It may be because of the situation that we want to go in at a lower percentage than we normally would. Or it could be because of the specialty that the doctor is and the amount of their average claim, we would go and price that completely differently. So every situation is different, and after you've done, you know, like I said, one or two with us, with our help, you'll know probably how to do that on your own. But even if you don't, you can have that help for every client that you sign up from now on. That's a part of our lifetime support.
Well, Patrick, we are about at almost 8:25 here, and let's maybe kind of close out with another call. A question here from Christy, and again, she can't. She's unmuted or doesn't have a microphone here. But why don't you explain here about this particular? Why wouldn't a doctor want to keep the billing in their office and just use like iClaim or some other cloud-based software in their office? So why wouldn't a doctor just want to keep their billing and just use it in-house?
Well, of course, in many cases, they do. That's, I mean, let's face it. Again, as I said earlier, a lot of doctors will not ever outsource their billing. So they're obviously not one of the, you know, prospective doctors that would sign up with you. So we always tell licensees this. The doctor is either happy right now with their situation, and whatever that is, either in-house or outsourcing already, or they're not happy with it. And sometimes it's just hitting them at the right time and following up like we teach our licensees to do on a regular basis until they do come to a point where they do think about, maybe I should be looking at outsourcing this to a different company. Maybe they're not happy with their current biller, or they decide that they want to move it out of the office, concentrate on what they do best, which is helping patients get well, and decide to outsource it. So they could be doing it themselves, and many of them are. There are other web-based medical billing systems out there, folks, and we take that into consideration when we teach you how to market, that you are going to know how to deal with those situations when you run across them. We won't convert every doctor that's out there. The bottom line is there's some doctors who will never, ever, ever outsource their billing, even if it's going to cost them half as much, because they're, control freaks. basically, and they want control over their medical billing and don't want to, let go of that. So some will, some won't. So what? Next.
Move on. Next.
Yeah,
That's
move
it.
on, right. Yeah.
That's it.
I just met, I just got a message here on the question board from Tracy. Tracy, thank you for joining us. She says, I just became a licensee today.
Oh, I'm muted.
Oh, hey. Is she on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Tracy. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Sorry, I hear the kind of a feedback there of my own voice. But anyway, we're thrilled that you just finalized your paperwork today, huh?
Yes, I did.
Well, I haven't even got a chance to call you and welcome you, have I? Is she still there?
We're kind of going back and forth. I'm using that because there's a lot of echo there.
Okay.
But,
well, anyway,
yeah.
She says she'll be attending the April training and says, I look forward to meeting everybody and learning as much as possible to sign up my first doctor. Well, Tracy, we're just thrilled that you were on here tonight. I'm glad you got to hear this little session. And you just stay on these webinars until you come to training. That's fine. We love that.
Absolutely. We love to have our licensees even come back on these. And again, folks, this is a brand new format that Patrick and I have tried out here. So in that, and as a closing note is, we want to really hear your feedback from if you felt like this format was good, because we get a lot of questions, Patrick, from week to week about these webinars. People ask, or do you go over the same material? Is it the same webinar from as of last week? And it really isn't. We do try to change up the topics, especially industry topics and what's going on, current events of what's really going on. But like Patrick's got up here on right now, why doctors will choose you to do their billing. So, folks, that's the next one that's coming up next week. So we want you to sign up, but we also want to get some feedback from you. Did you like this format? Did you enjoy it? I think it's pretty cool because we're able to let you, the folks that are looking to get into this business, ask us some questions right here on the spot. And again, you're driving that the questions and the topics. You can see up here, Patrick. You want to put that website link?
I just did. I just sent it through the chat box. So open up the little chat thing over there, folks, and you should be able to see that link. In fact, you can click on that right now. If you want to register for next week's webinar, there's your link right there, huh? Pretty cool.
Yep, there it is. So, folks, you want to just use that to get into the next webinar. You can go on here. So, Patrick, let's end up talking about the training that's coming up here in April. That is just right around the corner.
Yeah, that's what, 2 weeks from maybe last Monday? Anyway, it's coming up very fast. And folks, I can tell you that this is going to be a full classroom. We have seating for 20 in our classroom. And Eric, we're going to be hard-pressed to get people in this one. I can tell you when it gets down to the bottom line, a lot of people wait till that last week before training to sign up. And if there's no seats there, folks, you have to move on to the May. We have a May training, don't we?
We do.
Late May, yeah.
Right.
So anyway, get signed up for that. If you haven't done your due diligence, if you haven't got all your questions answered, stay in touch with your ABS rep. Call that number you see there on the screen tomorrow if you haven't been speaking with them. And if you don't even know who your ABS rep is, just ask, and we'll put you in contact with somebody who can answer more questions for you. Okay.
Certainly. And again, folks, this April training is coming up, and it is filling up because, at least what I'm hearing, Patrick, people want to try to get this started before their kids get out of school for the summer. So, folks, this is why this class actually, historically, is one of our larger classes.
Well,
here.
It and the May training will be packed. They will be maxed out. By the way, we have a Twitter feed that my son will keep you guys in contact with us at least once or twice a week. He will tweet something out there. So if you know about Twitter and you're a member of Twitter, you can certainly connect with us there at AB Systems, at AB Systems.
There you go.
That will get you the tweets that we're putting out announcing webinars, and we come up with different medical articles that we run across and things like that. We also have a blog, and you can see that at our website, absystems.com/blog, and it will have all kinds of past webinars, the recordings for our past webinars, all kinds of questions are answered there, and again, links to new medical articles. We keep you up on what's going on out there through our blog. So get involved one way or the other.
Absolutely.
And then get to our training.
Come on down to Texas. We'll